Thank you.
You all are part of my guardian angel, all protecting me, supporting me, helping me in so many different ways. And I like that. Thank you. Um, yes, of course, I wanted to record. How can I go without recording the session? So, welcome. Welcome to one more session of exploring Ayurveda in daily life. And we have navigated through the different seasons of life, and this course stands in a junction where uh, quite a few of the participants, you are not very far from knocking at the door of perimenopause years of your life. Some of you have smoothly or with a little bumpy rides have entered into the menopause. And those of you, if you're thinking this the perimenopause phase is gonna be a very far distant reality for me, let me bring the bad news. It's not. It's not that I'm wishing you to experience perimenopause starting tomorrow. But if you want those transforming, transiting years to be very smooth and easeful, you definitely need to prepare yourself. So, and that's where yoga and Ayurveda becomes as a sister concern of each other. The practical aspect of Ayurveda is yoga, and the lifestyle aspect of yoga is Ayurveda. So remember, these two things are always going hand in hand, hand in hand. They're the twin sisters. Now, as this is not an open speech to the people I don't know, this is for most of you. I know you for years, actually, and substantial amount of years, actually. Because in modern time, if you know somebody for 4 or 5 years, it's the distul, right? It's a long time. And if you know for 10 years, okay, let's not talk about that. You know them for life. And that happens to be the case for most of you. And so, well, and I hope you those of you know me well enough, you know that I don't have the I don't praise any particular style of yoga, as I'm in this case Satyananda yoga, just because it is the tradition that I teach. No, that is not what I do. I understand the profoundness that this particular tradition can offer to the people, and I also understand the some limitations this particular tradition also has for yoga practitioners. And when I use the word limitation, I use the word limitation with the context of there are new trendy styles of yoga which does some benefit to the practitioner. So I get that. I get that. There are a lot of yoga tradition available nowadays which are very exercise centric. So you can still say I'm doing yoga and doing workout, and the workout has its own benefit to your body and mind. But as most of you are Satyananda yoga practitioner, I I want to tell you that if you are doing your practice, if you're gonna continue doing your yoga practice, daily home practice, daily sadhana, you will transit into this state of perimenopause or menopause with a lot more wisdom and understanding. Your body mind will be prepared, because what makes Satyananda yoga so special, or Satyananda yoga so unique? Satyananda yoga is not just a set of asanas or breathing technique or meditation that you're doing and you're experiencing that feel good factor. It's a set of tools that is there to assist you in your personal evolution. And what is a constant companion in your life is this entire process of evolution. A kid has to grow into an adult has to embrace the old age has to experience the decay, and hopefully in a very smooth, natural manner, the death. And Satyananda Yoga has component of practices that can assist in all the stages of life. Now, one said that. Now, if you are in your 40s, if you are, you know, in your late 40s, and you see that on the horizon there is going to be a change in my system, what Ayurveda are you going to embrace? Remember, in the last session, I think I spoke quite loud and clear about Agni, the fire element. The fire element, the management of fire element becomes the central theme in a woman's life. When you know how to manage your fire, you know how to remain vibrant, and at the same time not to burn yourself, so you won't experience burnout. But if you don't know how to harness your relationship with fire, then the outcome can be very challenging. It's not the burnout in terms of psychological or mental or physical way, but the entire sap of life will dry out. Yeah, you can still remain externally beautiful, but internally you might feel very empty. And yoga and Ayurveda suggest ways and means to avoid uh, reaching to that state. So pay attention to what practices gonna recommend to you today. Now, what are some of the first thing I would recommend you, because we said we will talk about metabolism. One of the first thing, try to identify how many of you have stress related to metabolism. It doesn't rings anything to you, right? If I say, do you have any stress regarding to metabolism? You say, I'm not very sure what you're talking about. So let me break it down. How many of you eat and the food stays in your stomach for hours? How many of you feel you're getting bloated? How many of you have irregular toilet habits? How many of you have, if you are paying attention to your toilet habits, someday your stool is a solid, someday it's muddy, someday you might have a diarrhea, the very liquidish body fluidish, the liquidish discharge, the stool. So are you paying awareness to this? Some of you might even have not going to the toilet for a few days and then going to the toilet multiple times in one day or something like this. So these are all gonna sum up in creating a very negative inner environment, which is not conducive for your long-term sustainable well-being. Yeah, when I say this, we are just, um, looking at the tip of the iceberg. Because what is metabolism? What is Manipur chakra? You are not only metabolizing the food, you're metabolizing emotions, right? And your thoughts. So you go to the work and that project report that you're delaying to make, or the presentation that you have lost all the creative juice out of you, but still you're not able to create it. They are influencing your metabolism, right? Then all the unprocessed emotion, and not only your unprocessed emotion, the unprocessed emotion of coming generation after generation, and they're still there. You haven't processed your childhood trauma or the trauma of your grandparents. They're not just going to leave you, they're going to wait for you to process them. And awareness blended with Agni in the right proportion will bring the transformation. So please Anybody, literally anybody who's aspiring for a long-term well-being should focus on how you are bringing awareness to your gut brain. Forget about what is happening in your head. Observe what is happening in your stomach. And one of the easiest indicator is to identify how the food is getting metabolized within my system. This is the crucial aspect of transforming your well-being rituals. Before you understand how you're metabolizing your emotion, your thoughts, observe how you're metabolizing your food. And it will give you a very in-depth idea about who you are. There is something that we say in a slightly in a casual manner among Ayurveda practitioners. You have to become your Vaidya. Vaidya means your doctor. Now you have outsourced it to somebody else. And for good reason. I'm not denying that the doctors, the medical professionals, they are not capable to take care of you. They're wonderful people. But you should have some idea, knowledge about what's going on within you so that you can monitor yourself and you can modulate your food habits, your resting habits, your daily rituals, and it will bring much more sustainable well-being to you. So keep this in mind, please. Okay. Now, as a Vaidya, there are a few factors that you need to look into your system. One is this metabolic fluctuation. Two, inflammation as a fantastic indicator. There is a word we say in Romanian, asta este. This is a very spiritual word. In the same time, it's a very abusive word. When you say asta este, you try to comply, you try to accept everything. No, don't look at your chronic inflammation and say asta este, this is how it is. And I have heard in the last 15-20 years all kind of funny explanation. Oh, this inflammation, my grandmother used to have the inflammation, right? So what should I do? Your grandmother used to have inflammation. You don't have to carry the same bad habits and continue to be have this condition. So yeah, keep a tab on inflammation. You need to add anti-inflammatory diet. You need to add the right kind of herbs. You need to add the right proportion of acidity and alkaline consumption in your gut, because all these are important factors. I mean, I don't need to tell you that to improve your metabolism, you need to take a 1 spoon of apple cider vinegar with your meal. This will enhance your metabolism, especially anybody who has a little fluffy midsection and would like to let go of that. Go for it. It will be extremely good and helpful. And then almost, not almost, this is mandatory that you should do intestinal cleansing. You cannot do it by yourself. I can totally understand that. But twice a year, one on 20th of September, one on 20th of March, plus minus 2-3 days. In this period, I'm doing 2 retreats on detox. Both are happening in Bucharest. You come from UK, you come from London, you come from wherever you want to come from, but come and take part in these 2 detox programs. The same program, the same cleansing practices are done with the 10 times more expensive prices back in Germany. You can do it in other places also. Why? Do it naturally. Clean your system through yoga. You will get benefit out of it. And quite a few of you have practiced that. So I'm not trying to sell a product underneath, but this is done on a very important period of the year. One, when you are entering into the winter. So all that you have accumulated in the summer has to be washed out. Second, the winter is a period of stagnation. When you are celebrating the spring and you're wishing primavera frumuasa, your primavera should also reflect in your stomach. It should not just be a borkande zakuska which is still stuck there and you haven't cleaned the system, right? Because hibernation, everything is stuck. You have to clear up so you can welcome the new, the fresh. So these are Ayurveda practices combined with yoga. They do miracle to you. Then how do you know if your digestive system, gut brain, is malfunctioning? There's a very simple indicator. You have no as such external reason, but you are experiencing mood shift. If your moods are fluctuating and you are going through waves, watch what you're eating. Your food controls your gut brain, controls your heart controls your brain secretes the series of hormones and enzymes. They're very linked. You have more neurons in your gut brain than in your cranial brain. Yeah, so don't underestimate the power of this. Listen, observe a food. You eat something, and if you see your mood is fluctuating after that, take a note. So I will advise this to each and every one of you. Start having, whether in a digital format or in an actual format, a journal. You need to have a logbook, because right now you say, oh no, I remember, I know myself. Now, if I'm asking you, Iris, can you tell me on last Thursday what you had for lunch? The reply will be, right? Or last Monday, what you ate for breakfast? How many slices of bread you had? How many eggs you picked up and stuff? You don't know. So take a log and write down all the vitals. And now these days there are apps, to keep a track on what you're eating and all that stuff. And if you're going through this mid years, use it. It will take a while for make it a habit, but they will be extremely helpful. And these kind of apps normally comes also with a clear box of monitoring your body weight. Remember one thing which yoga and Ayurveda says it loud and clear. There is nowhere in Ayurveda and yoga, at least as far as my knowledge, says if you are size 0, if you look like a chopstick, you're healthy, and if you're a little fluffy, that means you're unhealthy. Nowhere it said that. In Ayurveda, you say you need to maintain your prakriti, your natural state with which you're born, right? Which might got, over the time, which might get negatively influenced, and it can create vikriti, deformation. So our tendency is always to return back to how can I maintain my natural alignment. Okay, so this is an invitation that we need to keep in mind. Also, there are two other very, very important parameter which tells you about your overall well-being, especially your gut health. Number one is insomnia. And you might have noticed that in the evening you ate a lot and in the night you had a disturbed sleep or you had an acidity or pay attention to that. Take note. If you're waiting for me to tell you a very complex formula, take 2 spoons of ashwagandha, mix it with turmeric, and then take a ginger which is freshly imported from India, and you squeeze 1 spoon of juice in that and have it for 21 days, your life will be fixed. I know most of you will do that because that sounds more interesting. And I'm sorry I don't give you an interesting tool, but please observe yourself. There is nothing better than watching oneself. Okay, so watch, check how often you get insomnia, what kind of food is creating insomnia for you, right? One. And then maybe the best parameter about food is the fatigue scale. What is a right food and wrong food? And there can be a length and breadth of debate can happen in the social media these days. And I don't stand here as an expert to give you what diet is absolutely appropriate for you. But I can tell you one thing. Observe this golden rule. After you eat a food, if you're feeling sluggish, that means either you have eaten too much, either you have eaten a wrong kind of food, either the food is, increasing the armor, the toxicity in your system, and you need to cut down, change the proportion, right? So pay attention to that aspect as well. So these are some of the very basic thing that you need to keep in your mind. And there are other set of symptoms that you should be careful about. Am I getting bloated? Do I get a lot of frequent constipation, or my toilet habit has a mixed pattern? One day it's loose, one day it's tight, and we don't know exactly what's happening. The hunger fluctuation. I can stay without food for hours after hours, and then when I eat a lot, or I have a chronic hunger. These kind of simple tools are invited in Ayurveda for us to monitor. Please do that to regulate your food habits and the managing Agni. All of this will help you to balance the digestive fire. Now, normally, when I'm advising anybody about food, especially if I'm working with anyone who has some form of issues with the relationship with food, I am never ever trying to tell them this is what you should eat and this is what you should not eat. Rather, I try to change the protocol on how they are eating, and I suggest them to incorporate few different rituals when they're eating. Number one of them is, okay, first the disclaimer. I don't do this myself. So this is purely for the preaching purpose. Don't have a screen when you are eating. Okay? Number two, don't eat with your friend. Option B, eat with your friend but in silence. It's good to eat in somebody's presence. There's nothing wrong about that. Actually, back in India, we have a saying, if you have to eat alone, you must be really, really poor. We always practice the sharing of the food. So you can eat in somebody's presence, but don't have an important meeting as you're eating. And digestion begins in your mouth. So chew your food. I'm sure you all waited for 40 years of your life to hear this. Of course not. You have heard this your entire life. Your grandmother must have told you, eat slowly. Yeah. So just this is common sense. These are all Ayurveda tools and important tips to practice. And another beautiful concept we have in India, it is also there in the little older culture, to bless the food. Convert the food into prasad. What you can do is, even whether you are having a beef steak or a broccoli salad, doesn't matter. Take just a few moments to remember the effort a farmer took to produce that food. Remember the effort that the cook, in many cases it's you, who cooked the food. Remember all other people in between, from the garden till your plate. It didn't just appear, it was not Aladdin who brought you that. So think of all those people. This is a very practical way to feel grateful that there's a bunch of people who really worked very hard for me to have my sandwich or have my meal today, whom you might not ever meet. So be thankful. If you're ordering the food, be thankful to the guy who brings you the food to your doorstep. If you want to take it to the next stage, thankful to the creator, because today you are the chosen one. There is most likely another person out there who's equally qualified like you and maybe more hungrier than you, has to starve for some reasons which we cannot even explain. So if you have food in your plate today, just take a moment. Also nice. And this one moment of gratitude changes the entire biochemical relationship in India. Start practicing that. It's gonna be good. And there is this funny joke, which is partially joke and partially truth. My entire childhood, I was told by my mother and my grandfather, finish your food. The kids in Africa, they're hungry. And we used to eat. But I had no clue, me eating my food, how it's going to help an hungry African kid. But nevertheless, I get that thing now that, okay, you are the chosen one. So appreciate that there's food in your plate. There are other people who might not have received the food. So that's a fine thing. Okay. Morning habit. If you are on a high fire element, Vata person, you are entering into perimenopause, start with a 1 small spoon of ghee in the morning. If you have a habit of drinking your coffee, have 1 spoon of ghee, lingurița, how we say in Romanian. Not a polonic, not a lingur, lingurița. Small portion of ghee with your coffee. Okay? It will be very good for your system. Then preferably you should eat on a specific time, but whether you should eat on those specific time or not has to be decided by, are you hungry or not? Yeah. And when you are hungry, do eat. Preferably the morning breakfast, 8, 9, when you are doing it. Your lunch should be by 12, when the sun is up on top of your head. And dinner definitely before sunset. Now, if you're living in a country where the sunset can happen at 4 o'clock, well, set up like approximately by 6 p.m. you should have your dinner. You don't have to really force yourself to have 4 o'clock this thing. There is a rule, which is half of your stomach solid food, another 1/4 liquid, 1/4 empty. Always leave your table remaining slightly hungry. Don't practice and don't teach your kids that nothing should be left on the plate. That's a bad habit. I was taught that thing. And this habit is so negative. Now what happens is, if if I by mistakenly put 2 extra spoons of food on my table, just because I don't like to waste the food, or I was educated in such a way, I will finish the food and I'm ready to suffer for the next several hours. So it's okay to waste food. Try not to put it on your plate, try not to cook too much, but it is gonna be good. What kind of food you should eat during this period when your Agni is going down? This is gonna hit you hard, I guess. No salad. Even in the summer, it's cooked vegetables and cooked food. And when you're cooking, the condiments that you should use, because Ayurveda is from India, you don't find oregano and rosemary there, but what you find and what they recommend you: scortishora, cinnamon, clove, cardamom, ginger, cumin seed, black cumin seed. These should be your daily condiments that you should use. There are other condiments also. You can use fenugreek, you can use of course salt and pepper. Chili, you should eat. For some of you who have a slightly higher tendency in the kapha, you should eat chili. Green chili, not red dry chili, green chili. It is more sattvic in nature. Yeah. Start, and especially when you are eating, also elevate your emotion and you feel a little sluggish and you feel a little depressed and you're low in energy. You need a push to awaken, to make your prana move up. Try to have green chili along with the food separately. You need to feel that spicy thing that increases the fire. So for many people, the fire is never moving up beyond the stomach area. So work on that. It will do good for you. Oh yeah, and you can also cook with ghee. Ghee is highly recommended. Mustard oil is recommended. Olive oil, of course, if you find a good, nice cold press olive oil, you can cook with that as well. So these are the oils that are very okay. Especially mustard oil, it has a high temperature tolerance. So when you are cooking, so in India, and again, if you ever come with me to India and we get to eat outside the ashram, you will experience something. When you eat street food or when you eat North Indian food, the more you go to the north, you will find the usage of mustard oil because it's a tropical temperature. The mustard oil in itself is spicy, and the cooking takes place in a very high heat and for a long time. So they use mustard oil because that doesn't break, and the mustard oil retains certain amount of nourishing property to the system. Traditionally, they would recommend to cook with ghee. I would say if you can procure ghee, replace your cooking with ghee. It will be very good. Ghee is clarified butter. What else you should do? Oh yeah, both after meal and after dinner, a 5-10 minutes of walking around your house can do fantastic in controlling your insulin resistance. Recommended. You don't have to climb on your treadmill, you don't have to do something, but don't eat and sit on a couch and start replying to your emails and WhatsApp. Move. Okay, that was for me actually. Now these are all super micro habits, and you apply them as many as you can, and you will start sensing your life getting better. There is there are certain food that you should not eat. There's a normal trend in the Europe where you start your day having, when you decide that, okay, finally I'm going to eat healthy breakfast, you take various kind of cereals, can be super organic, and then you put on top of it yogurt. In Romanian we say yaourt cu cereale. That's basically, it's gonna clog. No, it's not gonna clog. It's like there is a digestive fire burning, and you take a bucket of water and you pour on top of it. You know what is the advantage of eating yaourt cu cereale? For the next 4 hours, you gonna feel heavy and zombie slightly. But one thing is for sure, you will not feel hungry. And you might consider, oh, the food is so consistent. No, the food is not consistent. The food has completely shut down your kitchen. There is no more digestive fire. Now you can survive till evening because you had your yaourt kucherial, and there are companies, products, who are selling it. They will show you, oh, you are entering into a board meeting or some presentation. Just have a quick yaourt kucheriale, and they sell it in front of all the big offices. I'm talking about pre-pandemic. And on almost all my corporate retreat, I made it a point, and I'm telling you, please do yourself a favor, no more yaourt kucheriale. Now, you have a nostalgic memory. You want to eat yaourt kucheriale because this is your comfort food. Yes, you can do that. From 15th of June till 15th of August, you enjoy yaourt kucheriale at some point in the morning because it is the peak summer. But nothing beyond that peak summer, you can take yaourt. Yaourt has a cooling property. You don't want to put cooling property in your system as the first thing in the morning. So what kind of food will you eat in the morning if you cannot eat this? Something that is warm, porridge. You can, if you drink milk, I am not recommending dairy products, but if you drink milk, then you can make a porridge in the morning. Have something warm, small portion. Yeah, protein in the morning is recommended. So if you are having some form of protein, go for it. But then I am not qualified to tell you which is the best protein you should eat, because normally you should not have all these cold cuts. Majority of these cold cuts, you don't know what kind of ingredients are there in this the cold cuts that is produced. So maybe you should avoid it. Maybe you can have eggs, yeah, and something along with that. Good. Now, among all the hundreds of things that I have said to you, remember the ground rule, how you check. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, in case you're going to feel like, oh, I'm overwhelmed now, where should I start? Should I drink mindfully coffee with ghee, or should I start making a porridge, or which way I should go? It's very simple. Instead of going to the kitchen, go to your toilet. Check how is the download happening. Now, if you cannot download, you should not be uploading. Simple system, right? This is thumb rule. If you don't have a morning toilet habit, that is your starting point. You drink 2 glasses of warm water. It doesn't have to be saline water. Warm water, do palm tree pose, swaying palm tree pose, uh, and the dynamic spinal twist. 3 postures you do, and you go to the toilet. Nothing happened. Fine. Practice it next day. Practice it next day. In few days' time, you will naturally feel an urge to evacuate your bowel. That is a good moment when you have finally succeeded in establishing a morning toilet habit. Now take a note. If you feel that is so not you, that you just cannot go and sit on the toilet in the morning and you will not evacuate your system, then Triphala, Triphala. This is a name of 3 different herbs from Ayurveda. They are grinded together and they sell it to you, whether you are in Romania or Germany, wherever you are, you can always find it. Organic India, and this is no, I don't have any affiliation with them. I have used their product and I have found they are one of the best product that I have used. Organic India, you can buy it from them. And again, I don't gain any whatsoever benefit by promoting their product. It's good. Oh, by the way, the taste is horrible of this herb. Yeah, it's horrible. Nobody should tell you that it tastes in any format good. So what you have to do is, this will be the step one. Step one is in the evening before you go to sleep, and half an hour before you go to sleep, before you have brushed your teeth, otherwise you will have an insomnia. One lingura of Triphala in a glass of slightly warm water. You put it, you stir it, and you gulp it. Bottoms up. Then go to sleep. I'm hoping next morning you will have a smooth bowel movement. If after trying this for 2 or 3 weeks, nothing is happening, Triphala is just vanishing in your system, then what you do, you take Triphala in the morning. But if you're taking Triphala in the morning, then you will add 1 spoon of Triphala, half a spoon of ginger powder, 1/4 spoon of turmeric powder, and 2 or 3 black pepper. Piper negro. Crush the black pepper, put all of them into a boiling water, allow it to boil, cool it down to warm, and drink it. Your chronic irregular bowel syndrome or constipation will vanish. You will suffer when you will drink this water. Triphala in itself is horrible, but blending it with the ginger and turmeric, that's your karma. Have it and you will see how life will transform for you. And then if you have a sluggish stomach, not mixing with your breakfast or with your lunch, start having a portion of sprouts. And this I recommend even in the winter month. You should make your own sprouts, by the way. Sprout is German, right? In Romanian we say German. I like to make of mung beans. Very easy. You take one handful of mung beans, leave it in a bowl in the water. There are sprout making machines also now these days, like a pot and the vessels. I do it the traditional way. Leave it in the water, cover it up for the whole night. Next morning, I strain the water out, wash the sprout, put it in a dark space with the lid covered on. The inside should remain slightly moist. In the evening, I will wash it one more time and keep it covered. And it takes 2 days when it remains under the cover. On the third day, it germinates. And I forgot the exact percentage, but it says the sprout has about 300 times more prana, chi in it than the boiled seeds or the mung beans. So go for it. It will be excellent. And of course, if you want to make it slightly tasty, squeeze a little bit of lamaye, salt and pepper, and have it as a standalone snacks. It will add the needful fiber in your system for you to be able to flush out. Pay attention to something. Some of you, I am quite certain, when you will try to take sprouts, the next day you will feel that you're getting a diarrhea. You will have a loose motion. Might not be many times, but even for once or twice that you will use the toilet, you will have a loose bowel movement. In that case, please do contact me and we need to modulate your ritual. Why this is important? Because what our body should metabolize water. When the body is expelling water, that is not a good sign in long run. It let go of the nutrient. So please be super careful about this particular aspect. So make sure that you have paid attention to this. Okay? Now, now coming to the most practical, doable part, like the yoga. What yoga shall you do to keep your digestive fire in balance? Of course, sun salutation. What can be more fiery than sun salutation, right? But it has to be done differently. If you have too much of fire, then you should do the sun salutation with breath awareness or with the mantras, and very slowly, because your aim is not to aggravate the fire, but to calm the fire. Okay? Now, for most of you, it will be a sluggish fire element. The fire element is very low, or it has an erratic behavior. What is an erratic behavior? I will sense that in my temperament. From time to time, I will be very angry. How many of you get angry? Please, will you please raise your arm? Anybody? 1, 2, Zumata, 3, good. It's a good sign. Those of you are getting angry, congratulations, felicita. You are in contact with your raw energy. Now you need to metabolize that. How many of you never get angry? Like, it's so hard to make you angry. Okay, one person. Good. Try to get angry. try to get angry. Anger is such a spiritual energy. In Indian mythology, all the gods and goddesses, nobody is sitting and meditating. They're all angry. Angry folks running around solving problems. And it's God knows who whispered to the human ears, you should not get angry. But brother, all the gods are angry up there. They're fighting and they're solving problems. And I cannot be angry. Why? Because I didn't understood the power of anger. Anger means your raw energy is moving up your Swadhisthana chakra. If you don't get angry, normally I will look into your second energy center and I will wonder, are you having your menstruation regularly? Are you having any challenges and problem with your bazin? Who can not get angry? Only the person who have no whatsoever contact with the I-ness. Because I'm not I anymore. I have blended into the whole consciousness. I have lost the sense of I. And now I cannot angry. Because when you get angry, your anger goes through me. It doesn't reaches me because I don't have a self-identity. You're getting my point? It's philosophical. Leave it aside. Should not start talking on this. Point is, if you don't get angry, find a reason to get angry about there and Google it. You will find enough reason. Observe your partner. The easiest way, you don't need to Google. He will give you plenty. So anger is essential. But then, if your anger is erratic, you're getting angry and then so that you're going through this all the energy bumps, that's a good important sign that now you need to focus on your breathing. Practice about 5-7 minutes of pranayam before. Which pranayam you should do? Just two. Abdominal breathing, mindful breathing of your abdominal space, abdominal breath. And once you have finished abdominal breathing in the lying position or in the seated position, alternate nostril breathing. Inhale through left, exhale through right. Inhale through right, exhale through left. To create a sense of equilibrium. Once you have done that, then you lie on your back. After you're on your back, then you start doing Pavan Muktasana 2, PM2. Just choose 2 or 3 practices. You're not getting trained to become the ninja. You're not getting trained for your bikini body for the next summer. You are doing it to activate the solar plexus. Which postures will those be? Leg raise, leg rotation, cycling. Enough. Maybe spinal twist, 2 or 3. Simple practice. Not too many. 8 to 10 repetition. Or 12 repetitions. 6 with body awareness, 6 with breath awareness. Chapter close. Remember, a good doctor is not a doctor who gives you hundreds of medicine. He gives you 1 or 2 medicine and that medicine works. So when you become your own Vaidya, don't overdose yourself. Initially, you might be heavily motivated. Oh, I'm a yoga teacher. Oh, I know so much. Ha, Fachan. And then you do hundreds of nonsense. No, not needed. Seriously, not needed. So do this much is enough. And then do sun salutation, slow or dynamic. Now, if you have an earth element dominance, okay, never doing the pranayam in the beginning. You start with sun salutation, you will do the sun salutation dynamic, move fast. Meditation can wait. So slow motion is not for you. You do at least 6 rounds of sun salutation. Build it up to 12. But between you do 6 and 12, if you want, you can consult me. And first 3 rounds with breath awareness, next 3 rounds with, first 3 rounds physical awareness, next 3 rounds with breath awareness will be wonderful. Then you do TTK, palm tree pose, swaying palm tree pose, dynamic spinal twist. Okay, it will be wonderful. And all the party, whether you are from an excess kapha, as in you are more physically plump or skinny, one practice you must do, which is squatting pose. Like this is your daily practice. Squatting pose every single day. Start with 30 to 45 seconds, build it up to 3 to 5 minutes. Yeah. Sometimes you will not have time to do all of this in the morning. Then what you will do before your breakfast at some point, if you need to talk, you're on a call, just take the call in a squatting position. Yeah. Yeah. I have done that. I have taken very important calls in the squatting position. And of course, the call was very short and crisp. So sit in the squatting position and you talk, no problem. Yeah, this is what it will be doing good for you, as in increasing and balancing the fire element. Now, this is layer one. There's a second layer of practice. Now you have graduated of doing this for at least plus minus 45 days. There is no pause in between. You have done at a stretch 45 days of these practices. You feel that it has becoming more your habit. Now you add something more. If you have too much of anger, do child pose. Okay? Excellent practice to do child pose. Remember, you need to define very clearly what is your appropriate way of resting. Now, let me tell you one thing here very clearly. So you need to be very clear in identifying what's the most appropriate way for you to rest. One size fits all is an obsolete idea. We all need to know our body type. And when I say the body, I'm referring to the physical body, mental body, emotional body, psychic body. And based on that, you should decide how I should be resting. Okay? For some of you, Yoga Nidra is absolutely fantastic. Lie down, do the Yoga Nidra chapter close. But for some of you, resting means movement, not stillness. For some of you, resting will mean stillness. For some of you, resting means conscious breathing. Understand that and apply. If you will not understand this, you will create a lot of friction. With the right intention, you will do the wrong thing, which is not the intention, of course. Okay? So, for most of you, when I say resting, I would suggest start for the first 45 days. When you want to rest, you practice pranayama and forget about your yoga nidra. I know some of you are very big fan of yoga nidra. You are married to yoga nidra. You love yoga nidra. You have a relationship with yoga nidra. No, that includes me too. Like, thank God there is yoga nidra. I can say I practice yoga every day. But it's not necessary. It's not necessary. Yeah, a couple of times you want to treat yourself very well on the weekend, do yoga nidra. But other than that, start with pranayam. Pranayam gonna balance in a perimenopause woman the energy. It will help you to settle. Once you have settled, then you can take the advantage of practices like yoga nidra. But if your pranas are moving in a bionier movement and you're completely out of balance, Yoga Nidra might give you that momentary pause, but it will not bring you the transformation that you're looking within yourself. So a good starting point is finding 5 to 7 minutes to practice alternate nostril breathing. And I know there are many books and many teachers who will say, you need to have empty stomach before you do the pranayama. For a while, forget it. You are not doing any breath retention. So after 1 hour or 1 hour and a half of meal, if you want to inhale with one nostril, breathe out with the other, and watch this breath awareness, do it. It will help you to become more calm than not doing the practice at all. So keep this in mind and see how that influences your system. Okay. Once said that, those of you who have already balanced energy and you are practicing Yoga Nidra for a while, practice Antarmon. Learn to witness your mind. You have created a very restful, blissful state in yourself, but guess what? If I throw a small stone in your still lake, you will have ripples, which will not stop for days. No? I know you. I can say this very frankly. So if I say something, oh, you get upset. Why have you said that to me and why you did this to me? Oh, good luck. You're a yoga practitioner and you are stuck now in the hamster wheel. That means what? Your telecommander, your remote is in somebody else's hand. Don't call yourself yogi because somebody else can influence your inner peace. So practice Antarmon, stage 1. Yeah. So when you practice stage 1, then you go to the stage 2. So instead of listening of the thoughts here, you start paying attention of the action and reaction and the response, and you dig deeper into the Antarmon practice. And this I'm telling you very frankly, those of you who are meditating or you consider yourself, oh no, I meditate and I practice mindfulness and all the blissful blah blah. If you are influenced by external world, and that includes as close person like your partner, he says something or she says something or does something, and now you are completely off the rocker, bro, there is an issue. You must be doing it wrong. Or let's put it, you must be doing it right, but the technique is not working for you. Change the medicament then. Yeah. So practice this. Then, and I'm giving you like a next 1 year sadhana. After doing this kind of practice, you move into ajapa japa. Spontaneous awareness of your psychic passage. Awaken your energy, channel the energy. When you do that, then eventually, guess what? Perimenopause is not the end of the story. Perimenopause is just the opening of the gate. And another beautiful world is waiting for you, another 30, 40 years. So when you enter into the menopause, you should go with such amount of blissful energy that you are so connected to yourself. The surface reality is not going to alter your inner state. What does it mean, surface reality? My hair has now become gray. I have a wrinkle. My body parts are looking slightly sloggy. I don't have any more muscular tone. My interest in a sexual drive is reduced. I feel weak and there are pain in the different part of the body. I would like to crawl under the blanket 5 times a day. I would like to sleep for 10, 12 hours. The list can go on and on. These are not the sign of something negative. These are all the sign when your body is telling you, you need to be a little more draga with yourself. And ajapa japa will help you as a practice to stay in your center. I have met few women in my life. They are wonderful women because they are so present in themselves. They're not on the surface. I am sure you have met such wonderful people out there who are in contact with themselves. They are, their idea of themselves is not proportional to the external validation and recognition they get. This is a bliss if you can make yourself that immune. So keep that in mind. What else can you do for balancing your Agni? Of course, if your resources and everything permits, if not every year, once in alternate year, go to India. Go to India, go to south of India once, get yourself, go through a deep detox in Ayurveda clinic. It's not a luxury. It's not a luxury at all. It's a necessity. Consider this like how you do your, your parameters check. It's just like that. You're checking yourself, revitalizing, revamping yourself, putting yourself in service and coming out. Go 1 year into the Ayurveda, another year into a monastery. Now, if you don't want to go to India to the ashram that I can live with, no problem. If you're in Romania, go to a Romanian monastery that you resonate with. When you go to a Romanian monastery for a few days in a year, forget about your lovely husband, kids, katsel, pisika, and be yourself. And you invest in developing your relationship with your creator. It is very simple. Why you should do this? Very simple reason. None of us present in this class or who will watch it later on is sure when our time is going to come to an end. What is going to come next? The next breath or the death? Niemand steht. So, will it not be wise to practice conscious dying? Meaning, practicing conscious detachment. Learn how to unplug yourself every day. Well, if it is too much, few days in a year, go into a monastery and learn how to unplug yourself from all the areas where you have spread your tentacles and just stay with yourself. God can wait. Get this very straight. God doesn't need you to pray. And I'm sure the Christ will agree with Shiva with Buddha and everybody. They doesn't need you. But you need them. You need to understand the creator, the concept, and learn how to be with yourself. That will give you an immense amount of power. It will help you to remember that you carry within yourself that spark of that creation. Now, these are the esoteric practices, and these esoteric practices will help you to as you will transit, you need to find more meaning. I read this some time back. When we are young, we are like when a bulb is glowing, we relate with the filament, the light, the one what is glowing, and you see, I am the light. But as we grow old, we understand I am not the luminosity, neither the filament. I am the electricity that is flowing through. Getting my point? Because the bulb will go one day, but the electricity will continue. And how you're going to practice that? One day you will wake up and you will say, oh, let me switch and let me be this and that. No, it's not going to work. It's not going to work like that. So please prepare before the doomsday is coming. Continue doing the practice in a manner that we learn to practice a detached presence. I think I mentioned this in the last session. Those very famous saint in India, Ramakrishna, he said, before you break the jackfruit, which is a very sticky fruit, you need to put in your hand oil and then go and break the jackfruit. This is how you should connect with the samsara, meaning that samsara is waiting for you to make you entangled into everything. You surrender to the higher power so that you develop the immunity. And now with that immunity, you go and you connect with the God, with the creation. Play in this world of Maya. Life will be wonderful. Okay? Great. Now what I'm going to do next is going to be a little bit of a hypocrisy, because I spoke so much now that you should not be practicing yoga nidra and this and that and that and that. And I'm going to give you a practice of yoga nidra now. But before you lie down and we get into the practice of yoga nidra, I want you to understand, during these years of perimenopause, when you're practicing yoga nidra, your aim is no more just to move your awareness to the different part of the body so that you can relax. Yes, relaxation is important. I'm 100% voting for that. You should be relaxed anyways. But now you're going to use yoga nidra to navigate from your physical layer to your pranic layer and eventually to the manomaya, the emotional, mental layer as well. Because guess what? What will create the maximum amount of turbulence in the coming period in your life? That will be the emotional turbulence. You will sleep peacefully with your knee pain and your back pain. But if you have an emotional crunch in your heart, you will suffer more. Okay? So prepare yourself for a yoga nidra practice where we will touch different emotions. Take 2 minute break. Oh, this is 8:53. Yeah. Well, I have never finished the class on time, so I guess you all are mentally prepared. So lie on your back and get yourself a thick fat blanket. If one blanket is not enough, get yourself 2 blankets. Take a pillow, plafuma, banush, kachula, to, chetta. If you have it, use it. Lie on your back, lie on your back. I'll just start that session. No worries, Corina. Yoga Nidra is gonna happen. So prepare yourself for the practice of Yoga Nidra. And Yoga Nidra has so many different layers, so many different purposes. And I want you to understand this very clearly why you want to do Yoga Nidra today. And as mentioned earlier, when I'm presenting this Yoga Nidra practice for anybody who's about to enter perimenopause, it will be of utmost importance that you start paying attention to the emotional fluctuations. It's good to put your body to rest, but there's so much more that you can achieve through the Yoga Nidra practice. So I invite you to a practice and get into the practice in such a way that you have removed your glasses, Roxana. Good. Legs are spread apart, hands away from the body with the palms of your hands turned upside. Head, neck, and spine up and tall. And make any needful adjustment with your position so that you can remain comfortable for an extended period of time. Remember, during the practice of Yoga Nidra, you are expected to stay awake, stay alert, and there is no sleeping. It's also good to remember that this is not a concentration practice. So your awareness is going to remain softly present. You will hear whatever you can register comfortably. You will follow the instruction and you will rest. You will rest without fighting with your body. Make any needful adjustment with your clothes, with your position, and ensure that there is no slightest discomfort that will draw your attention as you will enter into the practice. Bring your awareness now to your body. Feel every part of the body that's touching the floor. The arms with the floor, with the mat, the hips and legs with the mat, and the hips with the mat. Relax every part of the body that is in contact with the mat. Bring your awareness to your ears and listen to the variety of sounds that might be reaching you without being selective. Listen to every single sound. Moving your awareness from one sound to the other. Bring your awareness to the sound of your heartbeat, of your breath. Let go of listening of the sounds and prepare to do the rotation of awareness. Now, as I name the different parts of the body, feel these body parts and relax them without any physical movement. Relax, relax the fingers of your right hand, the right palm, wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm. Right shoulder, right side of the rib cage, abdomen, hip, thigh, knee, calf muscle, shin bone, ankle, heel, foot, and the toes. Relax the entire right side of the body. Now, bring your awareness to the left side. Relax the left hand fingers. The left palm, wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm. Left shoulder, left side of the rib cage, abdomen, hip, thigh, knee, calf muscle, shin bone, ankle, heel, foot, and the toes. Now, bring your awareness to your back. Feel the whole length of your spine. The whole length of your spine. Back of the neck, back of the head, crown of the head, forehead, and the whole facial muscles. Now, bring your awareness to your breath. Bring your awareness to the breath. Inhale through the left nostril, exhale through the right. Inhale through the right and exhale through the left. When you complete this round, let go of the practice and become aware of the sensations I will be naming now. Make your whole body feel extremely cold. Make your whole body feel extremely cold. Your arms, your legs, so cold that you are almost about to start to shiver. Now let go of this feeling of cold. Create the feeling of warmth. Feel the arms and the legs are becoming so warm that you are about to sweat. And now let go the feeling of warmth and create the feeling of heaviness. Make your whole body feel so heavy. Your body feels so heavy that even if you wish, you won't be able to move. Now, let go of this feeling of heaviness. Create the sensation of lightness. Make your whole body feel light, like a feather. Feel, feel the whole body becoming light. And now let go of the sensation of lightness and bring a memory of sorrow. When you have experienced sadness, and now let go of this memory of sadness, observe how the body is feeling, and recreate the feeling of happiness. Recreate the memory of joy and happiness. Observe how the body is feeling. And now let go. Let go of the sensations. And remind yourself your Shankalpa. Remind yourself your Shankalpa, your intention. Prepare, prepare to end the practice now. Prepare to end the practice now by externalizing your awareness of your toes, your fingers, your head from side to side. Give yourself a nice, good stretch. And turning to any one side, be seated in a comfortable cross-legged posture. And that brings the end of today's session. Thank you. One thing before we close the session today. So, the practicing of opposite emotions, opposite feelings, opposite sensation as a witness will help you to detach from both. When you practice experiencing heat and cold, happiness and sorrow, pain and pleasure, heaviness and lightness, you can push yourself back and watch both. But normally in life, we are heavily leaning on one. Nobody, I haven't met yet one person who says, I'm so fond of feeling sad. No, nobody. We always want to avoid sadness and suffering. But life will bring us the both. So we practice consciously experiencing and remembering both so that we can remain neutral. We don't want to get consumed by any one of that. You know? So that's the purpose. Thank you. In the next session, which will be the last one, we will do an overview of everything that we have done so far. Okay, good. Any question?
Actually, I have one. You mentioned in the previous session, I guess you will send us some, or perhaps I wrote to you. It's maybe in the third session about some practice, some meditation or something. And
Correct.
also,
It's called Antarmaun. You have asked me in it privately. Yes, I will look for it. Also.
okay. And you
Tamara,
said,
we do have a recording of Antarmaun somewhere. She will look and send it to me, and then I'll check and send it to you. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot about that
and
part.
you said something about the fire ritual or something that if I
Yeah,
have time to join,
yeah, every Friday. Every Friday, join it. Oh, you are not there in the big group, right?
yes, yes, I'm not in the group, so I forgot about the hour or something to remind you, so I just
You're
realized
right.
right now.
This Friday. Tamara will add you there. Tamara, please add Roxana. Will you? Thank you. To the big group. Yeah, why not? And anybody else who has time, join for the mantras. Yeah. Good. So, Merry Christmas and see you next week. Thank you. Oh, one announcement.